Hey friends, I'm back at SeaWorld San Antonio, and this weekend is packed with some really cool stuff. They're celebrating Veterans Day and also doing an inside look event where you can actually go behind the scenes and see how they care for the animals. I was given the amazing opportunity to check out habitats up close and learn how SeaWorld San Antonio is helping protect marine life. It's such a fun and meaningful weekend full of learning, gratitude, and amazing moments. Hello everybody, welcome back to Dax Family Adventures. We are here at SeaWorld San Antonio, and yes, I am here solo. Adam is in the office. The kiddos are at school. It is Friday, November 7th, and I have a lot to share with you. And at the end of this video, we have a very exciting bit of news to share with you regarding SeaWorld San Antonio and what we will be doing next Friday, which you guys will be seeing next weekend. And we're so excited. This is gonna be quite the event that we were invited to, and we're gonna be able to share it here on the channel next weekend. So stick around and find out what that is. But we gotta head on inside. Lot to do, lot to share with you guys in a very, very short amount of time. And guys, if you are new to our channel, thank you so much for stopping by. We are a family that believes that every day is an opportunity for a grand adventure and every moment is a blessing. And I would love for you guys to subscribe, support our channel, come along with us on all our great adventures. And we have a lot coming, and we'll share it all at the end of the video.
And that's a 14-footer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's about a 14-footer.
And all the teeth inside?
Yeah, all the teeth.
This is a bottlenose dolphin jaw. So that's a replica. This is a real jaw of the right side.
How's it going, y'all?
77
so
to 110 teeth are inside those jaws, so another one will be on this side and then on top. These are dolphin teeth. These are bottlenose dolphin teeth. So these teeth would fit right in here just like this.
Wow, that's cool. Awesome. And then you have shark eggs?
Yep, these are horn shark egg cases, or also known as mermaid's purses. So there's different ones in here.
Wow,
If you
okay.
guys are interested in our
That's
They feel like
interesting.
leather.
you can check out
Can I touch it?
Yeah, of course.
Action Center, where they can help
Wow.
you maybe purchase it.
So these are sharks are born one of 3 different ways. They're born live birth, which is viviparous, or through another option is where they're going to lay the egg on the inside. It's going to develop on the inside. That's oviparous, and then
Okay.
ovoviviparous, where it's going to be developing. They'll lay the egg on the outside and it'll hatch on the outside.
Okay,
They
I
just
didn't know
twist
that.
them. They're born 3 different ways.
That's really
So different
cool.
sharks do different things.
That was really cool information walking in. They are giving away, well not giving away, but 50% off your animal interaction tours. Only today, but it looks like you can book them today and then go another day. But just double check if you're here at SeaWorld San Antonio this weekend to see if that is an option that has been extended over the weekend. And here we have our friends. I always call him Shamu because I grew up with Shamu. But there's an orca and a dolphin greeting everybody. If you guys haven't visited SeaWorld San Antonio at all this year, this is a new attraction here at the Rescue Junior area. It is so much fun. I'm so glad that they redid this area and added this roller coaster. It's good for the whole family, and my kids absolutely love it. So definitely check it out if you're here at SeaWorld San Antonio. Splash pad is still going on, but it is an 80-degree day, so it does look very refreshing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in about 5 minutes, they're going to start the Inside Look Animal Ambassador team at Rescue Junior Stage Conversation. So we're going to show you a little bit of that.
On our Animal Ambassador team here at SeaWorld San Antonio. My name is Weston. In just a second, we're going to bring out a couple of our ambassadors. We have Ryder. He is a 7-year-old lab that was adopted from Lackland Air Force Base, as well as Satara. As tiny as Satara is, believe it or not, he's actually 20 years old. The efforts that we do here are extended far beyond the pathways just here at SeaWorld. And we're able to really talk about their stories and the amazing conservation messages that are paired with them. Our team consists of a whole bunch of reptiles, birds, as well as mammals. Many of them are rescues. So SeaWorld as a company has rescued over 42,000 animals, and that number continues to grow each and every day. But sometimes they're not always given that clean bill of health to return. So it's our goal with every single rescue we do here at SeaWorld to return them right back out into the wild. However, sometimes they're not always given that clean bill of health. Well, that's when we get to give them a forever home here with us. We have to really work on making sure that we're a whole lot of fun down here so he doesn't go find fun 2 miles.
It's so cute.
And you come on over here, this very tiny tortoise is an Indian star tortoise.
I am doing a lot of walking today. I'm over at Discovery Point now. We're going to enjoy the conversations with curators here at Discovery Point Seaside Landing. There's going to be zoological experts who turned their love and care for animals into long life careers. So they're going to answer a lot of our questions. This is really cool. I've never been back this way before, but it's beautiful. It's really nice. I get to kind of go behind the scenes for sure.
So inside look, are you guys house owners?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it was developed with the intent of trying to get people in a backstage look at what happens behind the scenes for animal programming. It's really getting the zoo team together to tell the stories that they're passionate about, the things that they feel are really, really critical to making the zoo move. So training, rescue, penguins, aquarium, water quality. Nobody talks about those things. So today we're going to bring up a couple of our curators and we're going to focus on relationships. So my name is Steve. I'm the VP of the zoo. And I will let you two ladies kind of introduce yourself with the premise of what is a curator and what do they do and how'd you all get there? So there was a big battle yesterday about who goes
I'll go first.
So
I'm Katie. I oversee our beluga and Pacific white-throated dolphin area, as well as our animal ambassador team, our critters that are flighted or are some of our land mammals. I've been with this park since 1998, and I got into the field. I was a late bloomer. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian, and then when I got into high school and you had to dissect a worm in biology class, that was the end of my vet career. So I was a little bit floundering, you know. I clearly loved animals and wanted to work with animals, but it just never really like registered. Like I could work at a zoo or an aquarium. We didn't have those things in my hometown, and so I was actually in college. I was a sophomore in college and watching a program on SeaWorld one night, and my major at the time was business. I saw this program, and I remember exactly where I was, and I remember thinking, those are the luckiest people in the world. And then I went, I am paying for my education. I can do whatever I want to. And so I called and found out what it took to be, you know, to work here that very next day. I started working here. That was in December. I was home for Christmas break. I started working here that March as a husbandry assistant. And, you know, fast forward many years. As a curator, I find that my role shifted from, you know, when I first started in this career, all I wanted to do was jump off Shamu's nose. That's it. That was what I wanted to do. That was my focus. I was fortunate enough to get to do that for several years and work with the whales for about 15 years of my career. And it was amazing, but my focus started shifting a little bit before I became supervisor, where I was really kind of finding more of my passion in helping the younger staff do the things that we were getting to do and teaching them and sharing our craft. And then as a curator, I find that I'm the area mom, pretty much running the house. Mom, this is broken. Mom, we need a new one of these. Mom, come help us. Like we, you know, fix this, give advice. And so, you know, it all trickles back down to the animals. The team needs toilet paper, and they've got toilet paper. They can do what they need to do so they can get outside and take care of the animals. And they need target poles, and they need EEDs, and they need all the things. And it's my job to make sure that they have those things so that they're not for want for the animals. Because at the end of the day, it circles back. That's why I started my career, was to focus on the animals. So that's nice.
I'm Julie. I'm curator at Orca Stadium now. I started, back in 1994. I learned that I wanted to do this when I was a sophomore in high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do prior to that. I'd never been to a SeaWorld park before, but I was always a fish in my pool, always swimming. My hair was always green when I was young. Because I was always in the pool, and I always loved animals. If there was ever a bird that hit the window or anything like that, I was always trying to do whatever I could to get it back to health. I just always loved animals. I was in a marine science class. I just happened to have a marine science class when I was a sophomore in high school. I didn't necessarily, wasn't a path for me at that time. But there was a career day, and I couldn't tell you a single other career that we learned about that day, but they rolled out the little TV and they showed us videos of, like, now what I know is, Shamu giving birth to baby Shamu, and all these people standing around the glass clapping and crying and just thinking, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a child, you're kidding me. Thankfully, they had opened this SeaWorld, because I'm from Texas, I'm from the Dallas area. That opened this SeaWorld, I think, that year. So I came out with my mom that next summer to find out what it was all about, to talk to a trainer. I was too shy at the time to actually talk to a trainer myself, so I actually had my mom do it for me. But she talked to a trainer, figured out what I needed to do, and I pretty much, that was it for me. I went to school, I studied marine biology. I did not get my marine biology degree because in between my junior and senior years in college, I went to what was Southwest Texas State, is now Texas State University in San Marcos. Got the job here as an apprentice trainer. So I actually was just, I was like, do I get my marine degree, or let's see, this is the whole reason I was doing it. I can just handle the biology degree. So ended up getting my biology degree but I had worked for a summer here and then came back in the summer of '95. And then thankfully got full-time and then moved on from there. Early in my career, I did get a chance to work with the beluga whales, white-sided dolphins, also sea lions, walruses, and otters. Actually, it was kind of a department ping pong ball for the first 5 years or so of my career, including I spent some of my apprenticeship working under Steve. I worked under Steve more than once, but at Shamu Stadium. And just when I came to SeaWorld, it was like I had found my people. I really had found the people that, I was kind of a loner in high school or whatever, and just kind of did my own thing for the most part, but didn't have a clique of people that I really just gelled with. And I came here and I found them. And obviously fell in total love with the animals and everything we do here. Fast forward 31 years now. I have spent the majority of my career with the killer whales. I moved over there in January of 1999 and haven't moved out of there since. Have had opportunities to oversee our zoological support team a little bit for about 3 years, a few years ago. But now I simply oversee Orca Stadium and have continued to have the opportunity to be able to work them and be next to them and do a lot of, there have been times throughout my career being a supervisor, assistant curator, and now curator, where it's been a little bit more hands-off for me and getting to watch and teach others how to work killer whales safely and really get a chance to teach them how to read them, how to really know them. And then, over time, for various reasons, I'm very thankful that I still get to work with them on a day-to-day basis. This morning I opened the stadium, so if I smell like fish, I apologize. But like Katie said, we're kind of the area moms. We're the ones my goal right now is, people ask me all the time, well, when are you going to retire? Well, I don't really have any, as long as I can do this, I want to, and I want to remain constant for those animals. So not only that, but also how we teach people. We do have a lot of our younger staff start a lot of times at the Killer Whale Stadium because it's less hands-on and it's more observing and lots of talk about behavior as we have less animals than most of the other areas. But it's, I know that our job is really to make sure that when I can't do it anymore, when we're not here anymore, when Steve is no longer our boss, to make sure that we're giving them the information that they need, not only about the individual animals, but about the craft and about the art of training animals, and about the welfare and how important it is, and how we continue to improve it all the time. So that's a very long-winded answer.
So that's the who. Going back to relationships, let's talk about relationships in general. With you guys sharing a story of a meaningful one that you had, and what type of impact it had on getting you to where you are today.
Yep, I do have a lot of cool ones, but
Yeah.
I would say that my most meaningful relationship along the way was with a whale named Kayla. She was a subdominant female that came to us from SeaWorld, Ohio, when they were doing some construction with at their parks. I had moved back to Shamu Stadium in January of '99, and she and another whale, Winnie, had moved to us in October of '99. So my relationship, I came back in as a baby trainer level, so I was still very much learning. She was moving into obviously a new facility with new, different pod and different whales there, other than Winnie that she came with. And over time, over the next 7 or 8 years, we really had the opportunity to kind of learn and grow together. So I kind of think of it as I was growing up with her. We were growing up together. She, over time, for various reasons, she had to learn to be a dominant whale. She eventually went from the subdominant whale to then she became a dominant whale. So her place in the social hierarchy was changing. So I had to, my relationship with her was that and she was such a graceful, just such a beautiful,
She's the easiest one to be with.
She was, yeah.
At times.
At times. At times. She went, and really, when she had to take on that dominant role, it really wasn't something that she was comfortable with. There was a lot of learning with her, with the pod, and then also myself learning so much, and kind of as time went on, and what are the things that we were learning and shifting and everything together. I can remember one time in particular, sitting in the middle of the pool. She just really dug just hanging out. I remember you making me get out of the pool because I was probably going to be hypothermic. I was just laying on top of Kayla in the middle of the pool. We were just staring at each other's eyes, and it was like we both could have sat there forever. So it was just a really fun and amazing opportunity to be able to see what a relationship can go through, and how each context can make it stronger. For different reasons, she ended up moving to our Orlando park in '07. So I had 8 years with Kayla, and I went to visit there a few months later, and Kayla was actually, at that point I'm in clothes. I look totally different. Haven't seen her for 8 months, and she has new trainers that all love her, and she works with very well. But she was posed up, like almost out of the pool, looking at me and following me around the pool. And Jenny Mero, our previous boss, but used to work at Orlando for many, many years, said that she had never seen anything like it. She said that she was like prospecting. She was looked like she knew me, and that to me, I was just like, oh.
That's I think one of the most interesting things about that is when we train these guys, we make sure that they will work with a variety of people, because we don't want them to have a relationship that's so close with one person that if that person leaves or they go to another park, that they're left high and dry. So they still have people that I think are probably their favorites, and a lot of that is the course of just how much time you've spent with them and the quality of that time. It's like a friend, right? But we talk all the time. You can't just work one animal. You have to work multiple animals because you learn different things from all of them. And at the end of the day, we're all here for the welfare of the guys, the collection. So we want to make sure that we're looking at a whole life plan for them. And through that time, for animals that live, 20, 30 years, they're going to develop relationships with a variety of people. So Julie's with Kayla was one of the strongest that I ever saw. But we always want to protect them and make sure that they have, that they are flexible creatures and that they can build relationships with a lot of people. Because we do always think about where they might wind themselves up and go and see and who they meet. So, Katie, what do you think?
Yeah, so I've had, it's hard for me to pick one relationship. I've got many. Una and Takara come to mind. Takara and I were actually pregnant at the same time. Her daughter was born 9 days after my daughter was born. And I gained 40 pounds, she gained 1,000. So we struggled through that together. There were several times when during a show we'd both be back there like huffing and puffing, but we got through it. So those are some very special relationships. Betty and Tyonic were very special relationships for me. I think just, what I talked about yesterday that I think is important is, the relationship becomes very important whenever the animals aren't really feeling well. Like that's what, or not even just like they're sick, a toothache, a blowhole ache, a flipper ache, a tummy ache, but also like a situation that they're not really sure of. It's different, it's new, it's especially working with beluga whales. I mean, you can just change the color of a toy and it's the same toy, just a different color, and it's a new situation for them that they may not be sure of. And I've seen it, and I've seen where they will do this for you and they won't do it for you. And, especially when they're not feeling well, when we're not feeling well, we're not motivated by food. We're not hungry when we're not feeling well. So they've got the whole pool that they can go into. They don't have to come over. What are we going to do? And the fact that they will come over tells me, okay, my relationship is working here. The fact that they'll open their mouth so I can look at a tooth that may be giving them trouble tells me that my relationship's working here. Because you go to offer them the food, they close their mouth and put their head down. Okay, it's not food that's getting them to do this, it's me. And then again, the fact that they'll do it, like I said, for one face and not the other face, tells you that the work that we put in, it pays back whenever it's the most important.
Julie, one more follow-up. What's a killer whale like? Like, what do people not know about them?
That, especially when they come to SeaWorld, I think a lot of people assume that they're big teddy bears because we portray them at times to be very, because we do have such strong relationships with them, because we are loving on them, and because we are so close to them. I think, the parts of the killer whales that people don't normally see, other than the powerful behaviors that we, present in our shows and such. They are it is really cool to watch them just as a species, because they're in an aquarium environment does not mean that they have lost the killer whale portion of them. They are very much a pod. They very much work together. They very much protect each other, take care of each other, and I think it's so amazing to me to watch. I always tell people, gotta watch. You have no idea. My first 5 years, I felt like I watched the animals, 12 hours out of every day and there was always something to learn because they're always different. You would think that I've been working with the same 4 animals now for a long time that I would know what they're thinking or speak their language, and that's just not it. And they can change. Their social dynamics change. You don't know exactly why, but you learn the different, nuances and everything. But that at the end of the day, you have to always remember that they are the top predator of the ocean, and that there's a reason why, and that while they can act like big puppy dogs at times, that's not them in their nature. So they're just amazing. Incredible power.
Like not only physically but also socially.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a lot behind the mask. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Katie, same type of questions, different context. For those of you can we go to the picture of Katie with the whale? There it is. We're going to learn about this guy a little bit. You take care of the only rescued beluga whale in the world, essentially. So a little whale named Tyonek, and he came from an endangered population of whales in the Cook Inlet in Alaska. I went back and listened to Katie talk to him a little bit in preparation for today, and she's described him as when she met him as like a moment in history, because we hadn't brought in any whales. And it was certainly a team effort, not just of SeaWorld, but Shed Aquarium, George Aquarium, many aquariums were involved, Mystic, Vancouver,
All 3 SeaWorlds.
people from all over the country to go help this little guy. You've described him as your whale kid. Give everybody his story. Who is this guy and why is he significant?
So Tyonek stranded off the coast of Alaska when he was a month old, roughly. He was in bad shape. He had been washed up on the shoreline for roughly 6 hours, if not more. He was dehydrated, malnourished. Animals had started eating him. So he was not looking so hot. He was picked up and brought to Alaska Sea Life Center in SeaWorld, Alaska, where they rehabilitated him. Initially, he suffered hydrocephalus on his brain and pneumonia. And then about a month after his rescue, he had a spontaneous pneumothorax. So his lung collapsed for absolutely no reason, which is scary, right? So a lot of nursing him back to health. Steve was a part of that crew that went up there in those initial days to get him eating and get the nutrition and the vitamins and the meds into him. And he made a recovery, and then conversations started on, okay, well, what are we going to do with him? Can we put him back? Do we need to, find a home for him? And because of his very young age, so he would have only been, by the time he was healed enough, he was 5-6 months old. So he'd spent the majority of his life in human care at that time. So the thought of him being able to be released, find a mother that would nurse him, a group that would accept him, the odds of that weren't going to be great. Also, there was no reason for the lung to collapse. That could happen again. If that were to happen, he would be in dire straits. So he was deemed non-releasable, non-returnable. And the search began of where is he gonna go? All the facilities in the United States that held belugas applied for him, and ultimately the government chose our park. And they chose our park because of our experience caring for belugas. We've had 24 belugas born in this park. So we have a lot of experience taking care of baby whales. Also, the social structure that we had at the time. We had 9 other whales here at the time, as well as our dolphins. And so we just had a lot to offer him. So he actually came in the night before spring break started. And
When they always come in.
yeah, our busiest time of the year. And actually Julie and I slept on a air mattress down in one of the offices down at our zoo support area because he was being fed round the clock. I always joke and tell her, like, we had a baby, but you didn't even take me to dinner. So, because we just were, back and forth taking care of this kiddo. And, it was tough. The first year in particular was really tough. He had a lot going on. The biggest issue at that point was just his motility, just things passing through him. So he was constipated a lot. And so we were doing a lot of treatments with him. We were also on 24-hour watch for a year. So the labor to handle that, having somebody here watching him all night long for 1 year. We're able to facilitate those needs because of, the funds that we have here at SeaWorld, which is awesome. We got through it. We got through it, and he is 8 years old now.
So Tyonek, again, the thing that I'll add to this conversation is that, if you start adding up the years, I'm not going to add them up individually because it just gets to be numbers that I don't want to really process. But if I add up the experience sitting here and training whales, it's probably about 100 years, maybe more. And I always like to say that everything that we learned on those mundane days of it's the same day, we used in spades when we had to take care of Tyonek. Because, we'll go out and we'll take counts of respirations on the whales probably 3 times a day. And we just sit there, and it's the same. When they're healthy, it's all the same. It's like, I don't know, 3 to 5, 10 if they're active. They're really active. In the teens, depends on what they're doing, is going to correlate to their respiration rate. But you get this norm. And you get norms on how they eat, how they look, how they swim, who they hang out with. All of these things become a part of your DNA and how they should act. And when you see an animal not acting that way, you know what the target is. You know what you're trying to achieve to get them back healthy. So you almost feel like all of those years of experience were poured into this whale from these 3 people, and the best people at Georgia, and the best people at Chet, and the best people at Mystic, the best people in the community. Veterinarians from all over the community were all pouring into this one life. And I think that's a strong message on what SeaWorld's trying to accomplish throughout all of the collections, is that everything that we learn gets poured back in. Relationship-wise, we focused on relationships with the trainers in this lot, but I want to finish up spending a little bit of time talking about relationships with animals, because Tyonic's story maybe accelerates when Katie made the decision to put him in with an animal named Betty. So I'm going to let her talk about Betty a little bit, because this was probably one of the best stories about using your experience and taking an educated guess on what's best, and it just paying off in spades. So tell us about Betty.
When we first brought him here, like I said, we had 9 other whales. One of Enoch was literally about 2 weeks older than him, and that was part of the reason why they chose us. We had whales of all different ages. We had whales in their 40s. We had whales that were, 8 months old at that point. And so we introduced him to all 9 of the whales that we had at the time, and the introductions basically went the same. They ignored him, and he ignored them. I mean, put his fingers in his ears, closed his eyes, and swim around the pool. And I was like, uh-oh. This isn't good, because, the whole point of him coming here is to integrate and be with belugas and learn how to be a beluga, and they're going like this. So I was a little stressed, but I kept seeing him sit at the gate with Betty, who was at the time, 40-year-old Pacific white-sided dolphin. And they just in their free time, they would be sitting at the gate together, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to go ask if we can put Betty in. So I go down to the zoo offices, my bosses at the time. I was like, can we try Betty? And Betty's, we trust Betty. She's a consistent animal. She's had her own kids. I really felt confident she wasn't going to harm him in any way. And if it didn't go well, I felt very confident we could get her out of the pool. And okay, well, that didn't work. And we opened the gate, brought her in, and he immediately left his trainer and went over and touched her. And we freaked out, because that's the first animal we had ever seen him touch and engage with. She handled it really well. It was a very short little session for the first one, because we didn't know. But ultimately, they ended up living together. And she took him under her flipper, if you will, and really kind of started showing him the ropes. I mean, as trainers, we can do a lot to draw attention to the things that they do that are like each other, so yes, y'all are swimming together, great, call you over, here's some primary and some toys, and draw a lot of attention to likenesses, but I can't teach Tyonic how to be a cetacean. I can't teach him how to be a beluga whale, and so she did a lot of that, and she and then it was the light switch flipped, and it started happening a lot faster, and so she ended up showing him how to talk the talk and walk the walk, and then ultimately the pod were the ones that taught him how to be a beluga. And I will say, probably one of the greatest compliments that I've gotten on Tyonic is we've had several people that were a part of his care in Alaska come visit us, and they walk up to the pool and they're watching, and they go, well, which one is he? And I'm like, okay, good. You can't tell, which means it worked.
To you two, I've worked with both of these amazing ladies for, Jimmy crickets, their whole careers really for the most part. So I find this to be one of the best things, just to share time with you guys, your insights. I'm still learning from the things that they learn. The trust is like amazing. So I appreciate you guys being here. What we've heard isn't just about animals, it's about the connections that we have with them. They're deep. The relationships are often unspoken. And they form, the primary bond between us and them is what drives the park system. The relationships ripple outward to inspire our conservation messaging, our education messaging, and hopefully empathy, right? We want people to be empathetic to nature and conservation and the animals that live out there, whether it's a killer whale that's been a part of your life for a decade, or whether it's taking those decades of experience and pouring it into a beluga. Every interaction matters. And frankly, if you want me to say the truth, I think a lot of the things we learn about relationships can really benefit families and people and your friends and your wives and spouses and husbands. If we're all a little bit kinder and maybe a little bit more positive in our reinforcers, it goes a long way. It builds up trust. It breaks through challenges that you have. And it adds up to something significantly bigger. So this program will grow. We're planning on doing it over the course of the weekend, and we'll probably bring in a different topic. I think we're going to do sea rescue and talk about rescues with turtles and rescues with dolphins in January. Probably Emily, who's sitting here, will be a part of that.
That was a very informative show. I'm glad I was able to run over there just in time to make it. Their stories were a little bit on the emotional side, but there is a little bit of Veterans Day celebration displays here that I want to share with you guys. So I'm going to turn the camera around. So they do have a display wall here. What you can do is email a picture of one of your veterans to the email that I'm going to be posting down below, and this will show up during that day on this board. So it's a really great display. They also use this for maybe Dia de los Muertos, where you can post pictures of your loved ones during that time, but they have used the space for our veterans, honoring those who have served. It is that time to line up for the next inside look with the orcas. This one is called Behind the Scenes with Orcas. And as I'm walking over to the location, you can see all of the flags right here in the grassy area. It is a very nice touch. It's very pretty, and it's all over that area over there too. During the shows here at SeaWorld San Antonio, they do mention our veterans at the start of the show. They ask for all veterans to stand so that we can be identified and thanked by our community. So that is always something that goes on every day here at SeaWorld San Antonio. There's a lot of people lined up for this one.
I'm sure you guys have lots of questions about them, but right here in front of me, I'm over here on the habitat that we call Sea Pool. So everybody I'm waving at, this is Sea Pool. These are our two male killer whales. So this is Tuar, who's closest to us. They're getting a little bit of ice from Amy here. And then just on the far side of us, who nodded his head up and down in that motion, that is Cayuget. So these are the two male killer whales that live here. Cayuget is 33 years old. He's coming up on his 34th birthday, but his birthday is actually on Christmas Eve. So what a Christmas miracle he is there. But that's him, just here. A little bit of water just came out of his mouth. And then here's Tuar. Tuar is a 26-year-old male. Cayuget is the largest member of our pod, weighing in at over 9,700 pounds. Whereas Tuar here is a little bit smaller. He's weighing in at about 8,800 pounds. Now the easiest way for me to be able to tell them apart is to look at their eye patches. Cayuget, who is facing you guys, a little bit shorter. He has longer eye patches than Tuar does. Tuar's are a little bit shorter. Tuar also has a few freckles located in the center of his eye patches. So as they're swimming around the habitat today, you guys can practice your identification skills.
Wanted to walk over here and show you guys a little bit more of what you can see behind the stadium. Unfortunately, I do need to leave to go get the kiddos from school, but this is very cool. We have another side over here where the females are.
So let's make our, to me, it looks like those were the two toys that went into the habitat. So now that you guys have an introduction of all the whales, feel free to catch any trainers as we're walking around, and once again, ask as many questions as you would like.
Now, hanging out in the habitat closest to our blue building, we do have our two female killer whales. Once again, the names are Takara and Sakari. So Sakari is the youngest member of this pod, and she is 15 years old. And Takara is the oldest member of this pod, and she is 34 years old.
Alright guys, I had to leave SeaWorld San Antonio a little bit earlier than I wanted to, but I have to get the kiddos from school. Before I let you go, I have some more information that I want to share with you, and I have some special information about next weekend. So SeaWorld San Antonio is doing something special for our veterans. They have provided a special pass for those that possibly live in the area and want to explore the park more than just the day. You do have the Waves of Honor option where you can go to your travel office on base and get a one-day ticket for free for your family if you are active duty military, or you can go onto the Waves of Honor website, and I believe as a veteran you can get free tickets to SeaWorld or Busch Gardens annually. But if you live in the area, they do have a special pass that you can take advantage of. It is called the Military Silver Annual Pass. Now, we had the Silver Pass last year and it was amazing. You get discounts and you get C-Bucks and you get a lot of benefits with the Silver Pass. This Military Silver Pass is an annual pass, and it is available year-round, so you do not have to get it this weekend. It is for active duty and veterans, and it includes all the great benefits of the standard annual Silver Pass. So it is very much beneficial. It provides you free guest tickets, so if you have family that's coming into town to visit you, which most military families do, you could take them to SeaWorld for free. Free parking, which is a huge big one. Parking at SeaWorld San Antonio is outrageous. In-park discounts, so discounts off of merch and food, and so much more. So the so much more means you're probably going to get those C-Bucks, which is free money for you to go into the shops and grab some great merch that you have been eyeing for some time, or use that for some of the events that are happening around the year, such as the food festivals. We have used our C-Bucks for that when we get to sample different foods. So it definitely is a great pass. We opted to get just the basic annual pass this year because it was a little bit cheaper, and we're at SeaWorld all the time. We don't really shop for the merch very often at amusement parks, so the basic pass was good for us because we're there all the time. We have done a lot of animal encounters, and we're good for now. So we wanted to save a little bit more on the passes and enjoy basically the opening days of the events at SeaWorld San Antonio. But if you want to take advantage of the extra discounts, the extra benefits of having the pass, such as the C-Bucks and the extra animal encounters like feeding the sea otters was really cool. That would save you a lot of money if you want to do something like that. Definitely look into it. I suggest you definitely look into it, at least for 1 year. So that is a great benefit that they're putting on throughout the whole year. The Veterans Day celebration, which is really just the salute in the morning, the field of flags, and then they have that wall that you can put your veterans picture up, which is really, I love that. That is happening up until November 9th. I think in the video I said November 11th, but it's from November 6th to November 9th. So you have a very limited amount of time to do that. So I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of all of that. The inside look was very, very cool. I wish the kids could have been with me, but at least they're able to watch this video, which is why I went out there and recorded everything so you guys can see it too. Not everybody's able to go out there this weekend or during the week. There's probably a lot of kids that want to talk to the trainers and ask them questions too. So hopefully this video helps you guys out in that aspect. But it was very cool listening to the trainers tell their stories. Seeing the behind the scenes of everything. I've always wanted to see what the orca habitat looked like behind the stage, and I got that opportunity today. That was so cool. And they do offer dining with the orca, and I know Peter really wants to do that. He loves his orcas. So maybe in the future we'll try to work that into our schedule. And we do also want to dine with Santa this year. And talking about Santa, I'm leading up to it. You guys probably noticed that I did not film any of the Christmas decor around SeaWorld because I wanted to save that for Friday. Now, SeaWorld San Antonio has invited us to a media event where we get to go behind the scenes and check out the new roller coaster coming in, Barracuda Strike, and we're going to have to wear hard hats, and they're going to give us some information. We're going to meet Santa for the Christmas celebration kickoff day. We're going to have some yummy treats and much more. So we're really excited that we got the invite to go check out this event on opening day and explore it a little bit further. And we're excited to share it all with you guys. So you guys have to come back for that video. It will be out next weekend. And tomorrow we have a very exciting morning. We are going to be doing a muddy run dash. And it is going to be my very first mud run. The kids and Adam did their mud run, their first one last year, but I had a bad ankle and we were just about to board a cruise ship, so I opted to watch from the sidelines, and it was painful watching them have so much fun, and I wasn't able to enjoy it with my family. So this year I am going to be out there camera in hand. Adam is planning on wearing the GoPro on his head, and we're gonna have a muddy, messy fun time, and we're gonna share it all with you guys. So you will have to come back and see that video as well. And we have a lot more adventures coming. Guys, this whole holiday season is keeping us super busy, and it's not gonna let up until into January, well into January. So we have much to share with you, and that is why you guys need to subscribe and come along with us for it all. Do not miss out on any of it. But I will close out the video after I pick up the kids. They're about to get out of school in a few moments. They always love to say hello to you guys, and then I will leave you to the rest of your day. Peter, how was your day at school?
Good!
What was your favorite part?
Ice cream!
Ice cream Fridays? Jane, how was your day?
Good.
You had a spelling test today. How was that?
I had...
Good? Yeah?
I had 3... Fun Friday and lunch and ice cream.
Really? That sounds like a fun Friday. All right, guys. We have a big day tomorrow, right? What are we doing tomorrow?
Mud run.
Are you super excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you don't do the same thing as us.
I know. I'm taking really good care of my legs this year, and I think we're good to go so far.
I thought the grape is dying.
The grape? Yep, the grape is dying. This used to be a balloon grape, and now it's deflated. Okay, so they need to come back and see us run the mud run. And then what I forgot to mention is we're going to decorate our house tomorrow for Christmas.
After the mud run?
After the mud run.
Are we going to clean Are we going to do the inside and outside?
I think so. I think we're like ready for it.
At the end of the day, can we have hot chocolate?
I think we can probably master that. Yeah. Hot chocolate's kind of like mud?
Yeah, because they're both brown.
Great observation, Jade. All right, should we say bye-bye to everybody?
Bye! There was also a side of black beans.
side of black beans? For lunch at school?
Yeah.
Did you eat it?
No.
No.
Only one person had it. Me one.
Out of the whole school?
Yes. No, out of the whole class, I think.
You're so funny. But did you get your pizza today?
Yes.
Did you get a ton of sugar at lunch?
Just an ice cream.
Because that ice cream must have had a lot of sugar. You're bouncing off the wall. All right. You want to say bye-bye?
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, guys. Come back tomorrow. All right, everyone. Today was such a fun day full of learning, great, beautiful moments, and much gratitude. We're the Dax family, and we believe every day is a great adventure and every moment's a blessing. So thanks for hanging out with us today. And don't forget to subscribe so you can join us for more amazing adventures. And make sure you come back next week. We have some great things coming your way.